Hi, 4-3. Good morning. Good morning. Start our tap in this morning. Share some love. Tuesday morning love. How you doing? What's been going on? What's been going on? And don't you start with that darn super team Tiff Mayor. Like you ain't been over here lately to give me no crap, girl, about it. What's going on? Why we fall off? You know we're supposed to be agreeing to disagreeing about that darn super tip. I see she come out of hiding yesterday for a little bit. So all I can say is they finally got what they want. Now let's see what they gonna do. Even with the other things, sources that also has come out about the other board of people. So we shall see. Will they give promising actions for the community and stuff down there? I don't know. We shall see. I continue to follow it though. However, I saw with that board. I'm take I can take these rubber bands off. They seem to be wanting to do a whole lot of community stuff that she was trying to do, with the exceptions of figuring out how they're gonna do everything with the money. But we shall see. It would be a total big shock, right, if the feds come and then they got a subpoena for every damn body. It would be shocking. And I'll be right here watching and waiting to see. I'll mix me a little oatmeal together this morning with a little bit of tea and a little bit of toast. Right. Then I just noticed my daughter must have got the wrong oatmeal, because this is 1 minute oatmeal and I don't prefer 1 minute oatmeal. I like my oats to cook for a while. So, but I also wanted to talk about having, something on my mind. I prayed about it. And normally when the complete story is not out about a situation, it's like you just pray on it. But I really kind of been praying on this one, because it's just something that just doesn't seem to fit the entire story. Every time I get on here, Ted start barking too. Isn't that crazy? Every time. I don't know if he just annoyed with me or he wants to talk when I talk. And can you say good morning? Can you say good morning? Huh, little boy? Grown man. Grown old dog. Grown old dog. He hates the camera. It's hard for me to get TikTok videos because he hates the camera. Hey, now, my daughter's dog, um, what the hell that dog name is? He loves the camera. Oh, well, it's a girl. She's like, stop calling him a boy. I know it's a girl. But that darn dog loves the darn camera. Teddy hates the camera. Yeah. Come on in. Come on in the chat. I'm here to talk to you guys. Come on in the chat. I know y'all waiting or in the bushes trying to see if I'm going to say something about the other penis sucker over there that left a comment on that damn Timu page, on the Timu Porsche page. I know you are. I know you are. So you can go back and look. Hell, it might be even Scooby-Doo in the damn bushes. Come on in the chat, boy. Say what you got to say. Say what you got, because we're going to talk about how comfortable I live. Very comfortable. I would live comfortable even in the damn ghetto. that you spoke on. What made me no difference? My objective is to have a roof over my head, which I happen to do. I have a roof over my head. I'm not outside. I'm not outside roaming around. But so I want to talk about that a little bit because I know, as long as he gets some, a little attention that I'm giving, it'll just go on and on and on. And that just comes from being bored. That just comes from because I like to have diabolical anger conversations against females because that's what I just love to do. So since you find out, a person's character, is like, okay, go ahead and let this character show his character. And it is what it is, but little do he know, and more so than he do know, I just sit back and laugh at the goddamn Jeroni in my rated R word. Jeroni. He's a whole Jeroni. Now he's up out there on the fence and defense about this whole situation. I'm going to get back to this track story, though. That's been on my mind, too. And but let me finish that. It saddens me because as soon as a situation occurs instantly, we're only able to depict exactly what happened at that moment. So the story is about Fresno guy. I think his name starts with K, Karma, something like that. And he was up underneath a school tent at a track meet down in Frisco. And he was asked to move from the tent. He was asked to move from the tent. What is left out is what we don't see is what altercation or words were transpired between the two. The only information that I see that is out is about the twin brother making a statement about how his brother, who is a 4.0 grade averaging student, so he's smart, he's helpful, he's this. They said a lot of good things about him and where he's taking his life and what he's doing in his life and stuff like that, an inspiring football player and all of that stuff. But doesn't matter sometimes if you have all of these good credentials behind you. Don't ask that. You still never know how a person may turn out or eruptly do some things behind all of that good stuff. You could be raised by, let me find this. Let me find it. Oh, hold on. Stabbing by 17-year-old boy. Let me see. Okay, so it's right here.
The 17-year-old accused of fatally stabbing
This
a
here
student athlete during a
happened
track meet
last week.
allegedly admitted to the
Let me
crime.
see if I
Now,
can
he
get it
also
up.
asked officers if his actions could be considered self-defense. That is according to a newly released arrest report. On Wednesday morning, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, a junior at Memorial High School in Frisco, Texas, was killed at a track meet. Police said a student from Centennial High School in Frisco, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, stabbed Metcalf in the chest during a fight. Anthony was arrested, now charged with first-degree murder, and is being held in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Our
Okay.
Fox 4
So
Dallas
I'm
team
going to
has been
pause it
covering.
there. Right now, his family is seeking donations through a different fund. I think it's Fund Migo or something like that. They changed the name up on it for help to for financial help to help him get proper attorneys and everything ready for him to have his appearance and go through the court system with this alleged charge against him, which is murder. Now, This is what the news had shared at when it happened, from the police statement and the other statements that they usually gather when an incident happened and they need something immediately. Oh my God, oh, it died. I forgot I had this. My cactus died. Oh, I'm gonna have to have a funeral for it. Look at him die. I forgot all about that damn thing. See, I'm not good with with particular flowers. So my cactus died. So I'm gonna keep the little globe pot. I like that, but I don't know. Maybe I'll put another little seed in there and grow something else and try to work with that. I forgot all about that damn thing. Was sitting there, out of sight, out of mind. But so they take all the statements and everything, um, to provide statements and stuff to the public. His family has made a statement also to, the family. They are a forgiving family, Christian, believe in God, all that stuff. So I don't know. I've been trying to say, like, how do I feel about this? Even though I know an incident happened, and I do know that there are some consequences behind our actions out here. I understand that, but this one right here just really saddens me because the story goes on a little bit further. But most people, would just say, well, okay, we can ignore that. Okay, he had an altercation. He put his hands on him, and we'll fast forward to the part where, okay, a life has been taken. And this is what makes it so hard to judge a situation or to even decide what should happen, because this person's going to think that they're right, this person is going to think that they're right, and everybody's just going to run off basically on feelings, even though we have a bigger provision that speaks on what's right and what's wrong as far as consequences behind what either situation could have been, would have been, or should have been. So obviously he was up underneath a tent. Now I'm looking at this picture here and I'm like, okay, is he sitting under the tent? Here's the tent here. Was he supposed to have been up underneath the tent? As you can see, there's bleachers. There's plenty of room to sit. Was he walking past through up under the tent? Was he hanging out with some people up underneath the tent, just kicking it, laughing, or well, what's the case behind this? What is the subject? What happened? So apparently, because of the Good Samaritan that the other guy, what's his name, Fresno, is being put out, because that's the first thing we do. We're going to talk about how good our people are and what they have and how they live and who they worship and the raising in the home. So we got to paint that picture first. They did that. So I'm like, well, okay, the football boy or the track boy, I don't know, I guess he's running track, seems to be a good-hearted person and everything. But however, now we have this boy, whom happens to be a black American, and the other guy whom happens to be a white American, try to enforce authority. Did he have that authority? Was he responsible for keeping people from, I guess, hanging out up underneath the tent? Now, I say that to say this because you guys know that I have been to several, track meets and stuff since my daughter has been running. And I've seen all of the schools pretty much not share in a sense of them knowing somebody from the other school. So they just be kicking it. They come by. I done seen plenty girls from, I would say, lacrosse that would come by and hang out under Whitewater tent. I just seen Whitewater people go hang out over there from under the team from Minnesota. So it's crazy. Like, what really warrant this guy? Was he the protector of this tent? Was he the authority? What? Don't let nobody under here. And granted, That's where they keep a lot of their personal items, their backpacks, or their phones might be in it, or their spike shoes might be in there, headphones laying around, or a jersey might be somewhere, a hoodie, all of those things. So somewhere he became the protector of this tent. The story goes on, fast forward, and the guy decided to address the 17-year-old black American. Hey, you can't be up underneath the tent. And to me, according to the black American story, as he was stating that, don't touch me no more. So did the white American approach him and got his attention by poking him on the shoulder? What did he do? Did he push him? Was his back turned to him and he, did some touching, form of touching to get his attention to tell him, you cannot be up underneath this tent? Now, as I listened to the news several times, none of them explained, not even the parents of the deceased, did not explain as to why would he touch him just to get his attention to have him removed from underneath the tent. Why? So I keep pondering that. I'm like, why are they missing that part? Why are nobody asking the questions? Why did the brother, the twin brother who was also there, miss that part of the story? Why did the brother had to put his hands on this black American to get his attention to move? Why didn't the deceased not go and get the proper or a higher authority to come and speak to this young guy on this situation? If it was a threatening action or scene, or he's not supposed to be there. Usually you go get someone who is more in charge than you. But is he the team captain? Was he supposed to have been looking out for the people in underneath the tent? What was the case? So the black guy is saying that not only once, he mentioned to him again, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Now, was the black guy leaving after being touched? Did it, something infuriated him? And we all know we don't like to be touched, but he touched him. He says, don't touch me again. Is there a backstory about these two guys? I don't know what school. Did they go to the same school? What's going on? Because everybody else, assumedly, was okay sitting up underneath this tent. But this guy wasn't. Did the black guy come in and start yelling at the deceased, making some remarks, or did he initiate any anger or frustration or anything that seems to appear where he was ready to start the fight with the deceased? Where's that? And I know they're still investigating, all of this situation, but an incident happened. They had a young guy who was this track member, or this football member, who is now deceased. The black American, after asking twice, don't touch me, reached in his backpack and he pulled the knife. Now, I get it. The family wants to know, and a lot of other people wants to know, well, why does he have a knife at a track meet? Well, it's a difficult question to provide an answer to, because we're going to have so many. We don't know if he's walking. You don't know if there's you just don't know.
Our Fox
But
4
people
Dallas team has been
people
covering all of the
brings
information here. Alice
protection
Boyer has
sometimes
the
if they
latest.
feel that they are in need to protect themselves. So you kind of really don't know. Well, his bond is set at $1 million, and his family is trying to get the bond reduced down. So they went to set up um, a fund for donations to come in to kind of help them out. However, they first attempt for the fundraising was with a GoFundMe. But GoFundMe rejected it, so and I wasn't aware of that. So I'm glad that now I am. When there is a situation that occurs in something like this, where there is a death or particular type of incidents, you're not allowed to raise the money through GoFundMe. So, but let's catch this part of the story. Austin was his name.
UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco.
I think he's extremely smart. I wasn't involved. She just came to the movie and just had him playing football as well. Just made him just a great person overall.
Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move.
So it was a seating dispute. He
always was going to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is like because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag.
Now that's kind of where I had a problem with the mother's response. It was a seating dispute. When you go and you talk about how your kids are, how they are raised, and he's always the one that's, trying to fix this and do that. There's also where common sense is just not so common anymore. First of all, there's a seating dispute. If most of us, and I have to say with Coda, just because I know now how anger goes from 1 to 10 immediately with the human nation, right? We get mad over any and everything. The moment that you found that, oh, this guy, wants to argue with me about a seat, take a look around. See how many other seats are available. It's okay for you to move because it's going to save your life. Don't even argue about no seat. Hey, brother, you're welcome. Go ahead. You can sit there. See, that part of Austin was missing. It's missing. I don't care how much of a GPA average student he was, or of such. Somewhere he lacked to even know how to diffuse a situation. He lacked that. Good morning, sweetheart. He lacked every bit of it. Altercation over a seat. There's plenty of seating out in the stadium. There was plenty of seating. But this black American took seating somewhere near, close, or directly up underneath this tent hub. Isn't it crazy? Austin felt the authority to say, hey, you can't sit here. You can't be here. My question was, after I was hearing all of this, was why not? Why not, man? Why can't we learn to share things in life? The tedious things also. What if it probably was the sun? What if it was probably the wind? What if it, hey, all right, you want to, okay, come on, you can sit here, chill with us. You ain't bothering nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't harming nothing. But Austin wanted him removed. According to the news, the 17-year-old says that he put his hands on him, all because he refused to move. Is that right? Should you put your hands on someone because they defied what your request was? Or do you just walk away? Go get someone else to better handle the situation if you're that annoyed by someone that you did not want in a position area. You didn't. This boy obviously did not want him there. there has to be some type of backstory to that. What is it? Yeah, they'll probably say, no, it's not racist. Doesn't portray any of that. So if he's not that, then he has a problem with taking on authorship when authorship probably is not his place and for him to do. But it appears that the 17-year-old was trying to move from up underneath the tent. However, maybe he wasn't moving fast enough for Austin, or maybe it was just the words that the Black American was rebuttaling back that fueled the Austin even more by the Black American sitting there. Maybe it's that. Maybe got fueled more. You're not moving fast enough. I asked you to leave. You're not supposed to be here. My question is like, okay, then tell me some things that the Black American was doing. Was he stealing? Was he just up under there picking fights with everyone? What was he doing? Oh, there's an altercation over a freaking seat. All these seats up in here, up underneath that tent, there's an altercation. So this story here, as we know, it's going to go deeper than what is always portrayed out here on the news, where they just give you the brief and the snippet of the main narrative of the story. But I think that there's a whole lot behind this story. So now the 17-year-old is arrested and sitting and waiting to see if the judge would reduce his bond so that he would be able to get released and out and prepare to fight his case they're calling it murder. The guy did die, and he stabbed him allegedly in the heart. This is the first thing that the brother put out, and the brother was there where he attempted to try to, I guess, stop the bleeding and things or so, but the autopsy will be done. You'll find out whether if it's in by the heart or the lungs or, somewhere else that caused Austin's death. But let's see.
And reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there, and it's just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a
He
black
knew
knife and
he
stabbed
wasn't
Metcalf
supposed to be there. What does that mean? He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. Was he told to not go there ever? Like, don't go on that side of the track field. Don't go up under that tent HUD. Who told him where he could not go? And since when? Like, where? It's like I say, I'm out here every day and I see these high schools or the colleges now sharing. They all know each other. They go over to one tent while they waiting for the next race, kicking it with the other team, laughing and hee ha. But he couldn't go. He was told, don't go over there. He was told, you don't belong over here. Why is that? That's the answer that I want to know. Mm-hmm. I want to know why. Oh, y'all, wait a minute. I forgot to take these things out my mouth. Oh, well. I got to pop them out, y'all, so I need a second because I really want to eat my oatmeal before it gets cold. Lord, I forgot all about I had them in. So, it's disturbing, to hear that. He was told, let me rewind that.
Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there, and it's just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony reportedly confessed to the crime, saying, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to," adding that, "I was protecting myself," and then asked the police officer, "Is he going to be okay?" Metcalf died in his brother's arms.
I'm not at that point to forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well.
This whole community has really wrapped their arms around us, and if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight. And you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
In a statement released by the Metcalf family this afternoon, they say their focus is now on laying Austin to rest. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail on a $1 million bond. Alex Boyer, Fox 4 News.
Now that's a big steep bond, you guys.
Fox 4 Dallas TV,
Now,
I mentioned, has been covering
this is a picture that they show you. Hold on. This is a picture that the news show you, right? And in this picture, it had to be probably a early on picture because his family states that he's well over 200 and something pounds. Whether if that matter or not, it's here, near, there. I'm just saying. They said that this boy is over 200 and like 220 or so, I believe, right? But they put up this picture that where he appears to be a smaller person, and I believe that picture is a lot older than what he is now, and you can tell because if you look at the twin brother, and they are identical just about. I think she says that they're 4 minutes apart, and look at his weight size. He's a big stocky guy. Ah. Oh. Ah. It's like popping out dentures. But I got it. Good morning, sweetheart. So it's just very sad, and like I say, go Ted, go. It's very sad, and I'm sure that there's a whole lot of more details that needs to come out about this story. May Austin rest in peace. It's devastating. Yes, that his life got taken. Also with the, what is the other boy name? I keep forgetting his name. Let's see his name again.
When Anthony was taken into custody by a Frisco police officer, Anthony
and
reportedly
Austin.
confessed to the
So
crime,
with
saying
Anthony, yes, there might be some anger issues also there with him, but I believe that these two guys may have had a altercation of such maybe some time ago in the schools or crossing path or whatever, because and there's a reason why Anthony is appeared to be walking around with a knife that's in his backpack, and that would be his personal reasons, whether he felt that he needs to be protecting himself from certain areas. We know what we're seeing out here on these streets and things like that. However, what happened to him, wasn't enough for him to pull the knife instead of probably having just a fist brawl, and no one is dying from the situation. Unfortunately, Anthony thought differently. So what should happen with Anthony, I don't know. I think that $1 million is very steep. I think that that's a lot for the 17-year-old and his family to make bond, so that they can prepare for trial, and the other family prepare, and to get justice for the deceased of their son. And I understand that, and consequences, something has to be done, and I get all of that. This is just another unfortunate story, but it's the narratives behind the person that we put out behind the person that we love. He is a 4.0 GPA average, and he's this person, and he's loving, and he likes to take care of this, and he's like doing things like this. Okay, but lack of common sense is still missing, and that's something I think that is so important in teaching your children. It's first you're gonna have to look at the common sense of this. Do you really want to fight? Take a moment, take one breather. Do you really want to stand here and argue over a freaking seat? It's 50,000 seats in this stadium. Or do you want to end up in an altercation like this and not knowing how it's going to end? And in this case, it did not end well at all. He has a 3.7. Yeah, his family says, oh, he's a 4.0. He has a 4.0, but that's still with a great GPA like that, and that tells me he's doing very well in school. He has a very good understanding of how things work and, could play out as far as a resolution or a confusion of a situation like this. You're able and intelligent enough to understand how to deal with a situation like this. So did he try to go in and overpower or overstep his authority? Did he have authority? What happened? Why didn't he go and seek someone else who was, more in charge? Hey, what was Anthony up under there? Was he stealing? Was he causing a hot mess? Was he picking and poking at people? What was he doing? But the news only tells you that they was arguing over disputing over a seat. When he was asked to not touch me again, it's like, okay, that's it. Don't touch me again. Now just continue to argue, but keep your hands off me. Nobody like their hands put on them. Not at all. You say you're going to coach or security should have been absolutely. I agree. And of course, had it been a fist brawl, the brother would have jumped in. So it would probably been 2-on-1. Then here comes the whole team. I don't know if he was sitting over there by himself or what was the case. Why? Because I'd like to know that too. Why were you, or why did you choose that seating over there? It's like, why would you do that? Was he going over there to meet a friend? And sitting there talking to a friend just for a little bit under the tent. Yeah, but was he going to go and maybe he went to holler at one of his little friends or something that he knew? Chopping it up, sat down for a minute. Austin comes over. Hey, you're not supposed to be here. Okay, well, why not? Why can't I be here? I'm only here just talking it out with, and that kicked off this whole situation. And it's just unfortunate. It's devastating. 'Cause when I saw it stand up, I was like, oh, not again, come on. But, we cannot figure it all out. Just when you think that young adults and things can figure stuff out, we can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. Yeah, he said he didn't see everything, but he said he was there. So what did he do? Turn his back? He said, I didn't see, I heard him. I didn't see everything. Oh, yeah, you did. And I believe you did. And you got to be careful because eventually you'll probably be on the stand under oath. Under oath. But that's the part that just kind of, behooves me sometimes because we will put our children out here like they're diamonds, pearls. Yeah, they will. But you left out the part about why did Austin feel the need to approach the guy, Anthony, to warrant an answer by him as to you need to leave. Why? Why wasn't there brothership there? Why wasn't there what? Oh, hey, Anthony. Oh, you know, hey, how you doing, brother? I ain't seen you in a while. You know, let's sit down, have a seat. Why was there a seat? A brawl. Why was there altercation over a freaking seat? How many other people up under there? Who else had to leave? Only Anthony? You know, not trying to turn this into a black and white thing, but sometimes, you know, we gotta call an X a X. Gotta call an X a X. You can't sit here and tell me just because he's a excellent student and he's got all of these awardships up underneath his belt and he's this or that he has no anger problem or a ownership problem. What was it? He has a space problem. You can't get in his space. None of that. You know, but again, may he rest in peace. You know, I'm sorry. You know, it's just so unfortunate. But I watched a lot of this stuff like this though, with stand up, so that I know how to have these conversations with minds. Listen, it's not your position, even though we want to feel like we are because you have been awarded everything under the book to feel that way. Yeah, you the girl, you the smoke. Yeah, you know it. No, don't let it go to your head because you don't have ownership to every freaking thing. People put you up on a pedestal, but you have to watch how you use it once you get up there. That doesn't mean for you to be able to go over and kick everybody out from underneath the tent. Unless, you know, there's some theft going on. And if you suspect so or whatever, then you go and you speak to someone higher up and ask them to deal with the situation. You get up out of it. Don't be out there arguing over a seat or Melissa don't belong over here. Who are you? Who are you? Just by me hearing that this is what was asked by Austin, it kind of made me feel like that Austin wanted to throw his weight around, feel in charge, and then pick and choose who gets to do what. Because they didn't put Austin up on such a high pedestal, made him feel some type of way that, no matter what a situation is, Austin is the rescue man. Austin is the fix-it man. No. Yeah, many teams have the tents in the stand. I was under another team. So was I. I went when she was out there at the high school thing. I would be over there because I know the students and stuff like that. So I'd be like, oh, let me go see how so and so doing, so and so doing. But here, Austin feels like you shouldn't be below. Why are you here? That's what he wants to know. Why are you here? I'm like, what? And then to turn around and he's asked twice. Don't touch me. Don't push me. You could do all of that talking. I'll go ahead, but don't touch me. We don't even know if by the Anthony being touched, whether if it set off some psychological issue that he might have had. Allegedly, I'm not saying that he did, but that could have set something off in his head of remembering something of him being at a younger age or something. We don't know. So and just you giving him the moment, the power now to release what could have been bothering him on you. It's like, oh no. Oh no. Yeah, I do. I do hope that he does get a fair trial. I really do. And I do hope that they do lower his bond. I do. At least lower his bond, and I get it. Judges and the law would do things like that so it can somehow give the family, some temporary relief. They'll do that, instead, and knowing most likely it's probably out of its guidelines of what they should have given him. But just hearing that amount, can assure the family that okay, they're working on it. They gave him a pretty big bond, so they probably won't be able to make that bond. So he'll sit in there anyway, until he makes that bond. So, but the guidelines might not even be where he should have been issued a $1 million bond. Now is, the prosecutor and defendant up in there arguing about reduction in the bond. Judge goes to the back, review everything because they realize that okay, yeah, we went overboard, and then end up, reducing it down. So I do pray on that so that he can be able to, at least fight and have a fair trial, like you said, stand up. So I'm gonna pray on that because I see some triggering things that happen, even though there is a deceased, and I understand that, there has to be some repercussions. I get it, but I don't know about this one here. On that, I can sit here and wish all I want to about. I wish he wouldn't have pulled the knife and just had a fist brawl, but that still would have landed him in jail as well. Yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, wow. So, and I was just telling the chat too, those that how I saw how with the policy guidelines for GoFundMe that they couldn't raise the money through the GoFundMe, so they had to start private or own organization thing to get it raised up. So that's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So no one else can be so devastating finding out that your child is not who you think he was. You knew half of him, but you didn't know that other half because we all got two sides of us. This could be a child of theirs that only just displayed what they know. He's not a fighter. He not a this and he not a that. Then why did he go over there and make it his cause, his business to say, you can't be over here? Why? What did the black boy do? So other than that, I just wanted to speak on that this morning and come on and share some love to my channel. I'm on day 2 with my Invisaligns. It's kind of weird because I got to pop them off like dentures and pop them back on. Oh, you share them better than me, stand up. You be over there sharing them. I love you, girl. And now I'm going to get myself prepared for work. I was going to address another situation, but I'm going to save that for another day because my time right now, I spent it on something more important that needed to be talked about and released from my mind, other than that darn blank boy. Stand up. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. You read another comment of another who who said McClaf was about. Oh my goodness. Oh, see, I got and every time you click on different ones, you'll start to
Anthony was
get
taken into custody
different
by a Frisco police
information.
officer. Anthony reportedly
So,
confessed
and
to
I'm
the
sure the
police,
guy's
saying
like
he put his
scared,
hands on me and
scared,
told him
to
not
death.
to, adding
And then
that
to
I
turn
was
around and
protecting
ask,
myself.
is
And
the
then he
guy going
asked the
to be
police officer,
okay?
is he going to be okay?
Heat of the moment.
Metcalf died in his
Heat
brother's
of the
arms.
moment.
I'm going to forgive him.
Heat of, and when you play football, shoot, you become a serious hothead. You think you just everywhere. No, no. So, but I gotta go. I'm finish my oatmeal and get myself ready for work. Y'all have a beautiful day. Love you, girl. And I will talk to you soon. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments on what you think or how you think this case will play out. I appreciate it. I read all comments. So thank you guys. Later, love.